need to get to number one in the world, do you? But every time or you don't need to win these money lists, but every single time there was a challenge in front of him, he met it and then some. So it's been a pretty amazing year from a guy who was a nice player for 10 years. I mean, a top 5th to 25th in the world kind of level, like great player, won the odd tournament, always been very good at having top 10s, but I mean, raised his level immensely about 18 months ago, and pretty much he's a chance to win every single tournament he's up in the last 18 months. It's been very impressive. And as far as the way he goes about it, he's not the longest guy for sure. He just he plods it around the golf course if you like. He hits his irons very, very well, and his short game may be the best in the world. Well, not maybe the best in the world. It is the best in the world at the moment. And his putting has been something to admire this year for sure. So a good course for him around here because it's not going to challenge the length. Not that he's had trouble with that, but I think he really enjoyed it. He's been looking forward to coming down here. He mentioned to me last time I saw him somewhere, it was probably in Shanghai or something, very interested in coming to see some of the other sandbelt courses. He's a pretty wise guy, and he's into the history of the game, and he understands that Melbourne's got a pretty big part to play in that, and he wants to see it all. So I know he's obviously very tired because of his big run at the end of the year to win the money lists and do what he's done there. But I think he's pretty enthusiastic about getting down here and playing here. So it's a coup that we got him down here, and I think if anyone's on the fence about coming to watch him, they should come see him because he's a legitimate number one in the world.
Geoff, have you had much time to think about what you'd like to achieve next year? Is there anything in particular you need to do to get better?
Well, this time last year I was pretty high on it all. I was really happy with the way I was playing. I played great in Australia, got to Hawaii playing great, but kind of hurt my finger there, missed a month. And I kind of never really regained much momentum. I played quite well at the Masters, but after that my shoulder kind of played up a little bit, and so I'd like a year of good health. Would be nice. Which I think it was just a bit of a weird one this year. Obviously, I would like to start properly contending in majors again. I mean, I kind of contended in the Masters a little bit towards the end there, and that was quite fun. I mean, that's what I want to play for, is to contend and win those big tournaments. All 4 of them, and win as many golf tournaments as I can over there, really. I mean, I haven't won, I don't think, since Hawaii. I haven't won over there since Hawaii last year, so nearly 2 years in 2 weeks. So I think it's time I did that. And as far as as improvement, I mean, I'll probably have to putt better than I did this year, but as I said, I think I was playing really well most of this year. I just never really had a chance. My shoulder kind of played up, and I pushed a bit too hard and played a bit too many weeks in a row, and kind of got a bit worried about my body and forced it a little bit. So hopefully I can get out there, take a bit of time off, start of the year keen, and just if I get playing like I was 12 months ago, I think it'll go well.
Geoff, thanks for supporting Australian golf, by the way, mate. It's great. Just a question. With we've got more tournaments happening around the country now, which is terrific. What's your feeling and the internationals' feeling of travelling to Perth, to Queensland, to Sydney, these long treks? Does it put them off a bit?
Well, from a European player's perspective, I don't think they worry too much about travelling long distances to play. They're very used to doing it. The European Tour pretty much plays all over the world. They're a bit like Australians. They're very, I wouldn't say very happy to travel. They're very used to having to travel to go play. So to go to Perth or Sydney or whatever is not that big a deal towards the end of the year because they've always done that. From an American perspective, it's different, and it's a difficult one for them, which I never had any sympathy for, but now I do. If we had 30 weeks, a 30-week tour starting here in June that went to the end of April, and then you told me to go to the East Coast of the US to play a golf tournament in May, I'd be like, you're kidding, are you? There's just no way. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, so they play their career is right there. They have 9 or 10 months of flat-out golf, and then they get asked to go fly 18 hours in a plane at Thanksgiving or something, one of their prized weeks. I mean, it's very difficult, so I have a lot of sympathy for them. I think it's to be admired when they do come. I think it's a big ask. I think it's a big ask for them, and I think it's a bit harsh when we criticise them for not coming. And I think we should praise them when they do, because I think it's really nice. I think we got a treat this year. We had a few of them down here for a few weeks, and yeah, I've got more sympathy from that perspective now because I see it from their perspective. The Europeans, I think, as I said, are pretty willing to travel, and hopefully the more tournaments we get, we can, especially the co-sanctioned ones. I think that was the great period for us when we had the Heineken and stuff that you saw some of the big players coming regularly every year because of the co-sanction with Europe, and it matches up with their home tour and stuff. So I think if we can, with this sort of stuff going on, I think we'll see good fields pretty regularly, at least from the European perspective. Yeah, I'm pretty in the mood to win. I mean, the Australian Open I was pretty keen, and I played pretty well kind of towards the end, and I kind of ended up finishing well, but was never really in it. The President's Cup took a lot of energy out of me. Coolum, I mean, I want to win the golf tournament, Coolum, but I had a pretty hard time staying with it, if you like, on the golf course. I was pretty fatigued. But this is home course. This is, well, my home course. I get to sleep in my own bed, kind of. So I'm pretty motivated to win this golf tournament. And as far as the wide open, I think those who had played a lot, I think leading up to Coolum and all that, I think will be pretty refreshed and ready to play because they've had a couple of weeks off. Some of the bigger names coming over here have just been in Dubai and Hong Kong and World Cup and stuff, and they'll be probably pretty worn out. So it'll be wide open. There's always plenty of guys who can win these sort of tournaments, and I think it sometimes doesn't end up with the obvious. I don't think anyone before the Australian Open, not to sell Greg short at all, but I don't think anyone was going to predict Greg Chalmers was going to win 2 in a row. I don't think anyone was surprised after he did, but I don't think he would have predicted it beforehand. So I think there's a lot of guys who'll be in this tournament who can win the tournament, and hopefully we get a lot of guys with a chance, like Coolum. We had a lot of guys with a chance to win that with 9 holes to play. Hopefully we get that here.
Last questions, anybody? Any more questions? No? Thank you. Thank you very much for coming in, Geoff.